I'm interviewing Mr Angelo Camilleri at his home in Mulgrave, Victoria. Today is Wednesday the 19th of September 1984. To begin with, I'd like to ask, in what year were you born and what part of Malta or Gozo are you from?
1902 was the year. 1902 was the year, and November, 27th of November, 1902.
Yes.
Born in Valletta, Malta.
Could you tell me something about your family? Is it a large family?
Well, my mother and father. My father was a carpenter, which he followed the trade when he came to Australia, and there was my mother. Of course, the women never worked. My sister never worked here either. And my brother had a job when we first came to Australia.
And what about your parents?
My father was a joiner, carpenter and joiner. He worked at Beecham's in Lonsdale Street, Melbourne. That's a long while ago. They wouldn't be there now, the timber yard. My mother never worked, my sister didn't work. My brother worked in the nail works in somewhere, there wasn't Brunswick. I can't remember.
Brunswick, Nicholson Street.
Yeah.
So where were your parents from? Where were they?
They were both from Valletta. My father had travelled to America. Things were bad there, like the depression we had in Australia some time ago, and he didn't do much good there. I think he stopped there about 2 years and came back to Malta. Well, then from Malta, my father had a friend, Mr Hamilton. He he knew him when he worked in the dockyards, not the dockyards, the dockyards in Malta, yes. In the house, in the dockyards there, and he was very kind, this Mr Hamilton. And of course things were bad, we had no money, and Mr Hamilton loaned him £100, which paid the fare to Australia. That was how we came to us. He got the money from Mr Hamilton, which eventually he paid back. It was very kind of the gentleman to lend it to him.
And this was in 1912?
Yes. 1912. We arrived here, I think, in April.
Can you tell me anything more about Mr Hamilton? What?
Mr Hamilton was a artificer. He was in charge of part of the dockyards in Malta. Can't tell you much because I didn't know him. I remember my father talking about him.
And what prompted your father to decide to come to Australia?
Well, everybody was looking for somewhere to go.
Was that because, why was that? Was there unemployment?
The rumour was that Australia was the place. Yeah, which he did all right. My father got work straight away. My brother got work straight away when we come to Australia. My brother was in the place he got when we come to Australia till the day he died.
Where was that? What was that doing?
Nail works, Cooks and Company. They're still about, I believe. I don't know whether the nail works, but they made printing inks also. But my brother worked in the nail portion of the factory.
What was your brother's name?
Joseph Camilleri. He died when he was about 60.
And I'd like to ask about the actual voyage. I know it was a long time ago, and you were only 10.
We come from Malta to Alexandria in a tramp steamer called the Britannia. Where it was very crude. They rigged the tents for us on the jib. You know how they used to canvas tent, and we slept there. You know, my mother, my sister, and brother and father on the hold cover. You know, the hold.
Yes. There were tents on the ship itself.
No, it was rigged up before they loaded the cargo first. When they finished, they closed the thing, and then they put the stent in, and that done us for the voyage to Alexandria. Well, from Alexandria then we went to Port Said. My father knew a very well-known businessman there. He used to supply as a plumber supplier. I don't know his name. From there, we missed this friend of my father's that had the plumbing business, and used to know he knew many of the shipping companies, and he got us a passage on the Dumbea, this French ship. It was only it was partly driven by steam and partly by sail. It was a beautiful ship there, very small and low, never, very steady in the water. And well, that's.
Do you have any recollections of the voyage itself?
Well, I know they used to kill the meat on the ship there. They used to kill the bullocks. They used to put the bullocks and kill them on the all the company's crew, the passengers who gather around and watch this. They used to have a pick and pick them on the back of the head. Have you ever seen it done that way? I don't know whether they did or not. But they used to do it on the deck. They had a special little place where they killed the meat, and that was done for the for food for the crew, not for the crew, for the passengers also.
Yes, were there many passengers?
Yes, I think I would say we had a privileged passage there. My father didn't mix very much. The Maltese, not that there was anything wrong with them, but they were a bit crude, from the country. You know how they are in Malta for the people. And this chap that got us the passage was well in with the company, and they provided us with a cabin separate from the other Maltese. It was a real good. We always do it with the second class passengers there too. Apart from that,
regarding the other Maltese on board,
well, they were migrants from the country. They came to Australia. Their favourite part was there was two shops owned by Maltese in King Street. One was Tony Rizzo. He was married to an Australian woman, and he had quite a family from her. And the other one was John Rizzo. He only had one daughter. All the Maltese used to gather at his shop. They used to stop there, and there was a bit of a little plantation in the centre of the road, and they got there and talked, between themselves what they were doing.
Well, this is in that period when you just arrived.
Yes. Well, we were living in Lonsdale Street. When we first arrived, our first place of residence was Hanover Street, Fitzroy. We boarded there, I don't know the number, with a Dutch woman and her family. From there, we shifted to Mr Sherry, had the boarding house in Lonsdale Street. All the Maltese used to have rooms there too, that they were on their way to Tasmania. They used to come to Melbourne, and then they got this job in the Mount Lyell there, there's a Lyell, I wouldn't be
Mount
sure.
Lyell, that's right.
Yeah, Mount Lyell.
And do you remember Mr Sherry's Christian name?
No. He was an old seaman, but he I don't know when. I don't even remember when he died, but we lived with him quite a long while.
From what, 1912 onwards?
Yeah, from 1912 onwards. That's right. Yes, yeah. We didn't stop there very long. We didn't stop in Fitzroy very long.
But you moved from Fitzroy to Lonsdale Street.
Yeah, and then from there we went to South Melbourne, Montague Street, South Melbourne. That the house is not there now. There is a house there in the place where it was, but our house that we lived in was demolished and the other place rebuilt.
That was a boarding house, or?
No, it was a house, private house. Yes.
Tell me, what was the position of the Maltese at that time? Like, I know that later on, say in the 20s, in King Street and West Melbourne and Spencer Street, there seemed to be a fair few.
No, Spencer Street was never in it.
Oh, I thought there were a couple of shops there.
Not in Spencer Street, not Maltese, no. Oh, although there might have been up the far end, I wouldn't know that. There could have been.
Like
Did you hear there was some Maltese in Spencer Street?
Yes.
Yes, there could have been. There was a shop there, right far. I didn't know much about that. See, I went to school in Burke Street. Now that's something. If I tell the people here in Australia I'm at Burke Street, they wouldn't know where I was talking about. Did you know there was a school in
No.
Well, there's a school in Burke Street. The hall is still there to this day.
Really? Where is it?
Right, up behind the police station, down near, you know, the police station near Spencer Street.
Oh yes.
In Burke Street. Well, no, I haven't been there for quite a while, but I think it's still there. The hall. St Augustine's is still there. The church for sure.
Oh, not Unity Hall. Was it called Unity
No,
Hall?
no. Oh, well, they might have called it Unity Hall. I don't know, but it was used as a schoolroom. The nuns from Nicholson Street Convent used to teach there. There used to be a couple of nuns sent there each day they come by tram, the cable tram, you know, from there, and they used to teach the class there.
And you went there for how many years?
Oh, right up until I was 14. Until I was 14, yes, about 14.
Who was in your? How many of your family were here? I'm sorry.
There was my father and mother. That's Lorenza and Salvatore, my brother Joseph, and my sister Nina. She's still alive and living here. She's living with her daughter. And I don't know exactly. I won't say it. I wouldn't know the name of it. Yeah. So.
Did your parents have any contacts here before they came? Like, did they have Maltese friends in Australia who would meet them?
No. My father, no. We were on when we came to Australia, we were on our own. We didn't meet Maltese people when we came over. Mr Rizzo, that had the shop in King Street, we only knew him when we come to Australia. We didn't know him beforehand. But the Maltese all congregated in front of his shop when they came to Australia. They were mostly countrymen from Malta, you know, and there wasn't, better not say, I mean, it's, you know, they were on their way, they made their way to Tasmania, then to Mount Lyell, got a job there. Those that couldn't get one here, but, you know, but their aim was Tasmania. When they landed in Melbourne, that was where they intended to get to Tasmania.
So the other Maltese who were on the ship, they were actually heading
There were
to
about
Mount Lyell.
25 others there, about 25. I wouldn't know the exact number, I'm only guessing.
But there were a few, like there weren't just...
It wasn't a very big boat. It wasn't a big boat, but by Jove, it was a beautiful boat. It didn't, you know, it was as steady as you like in the water.
And these other Maltese on board, do you know if they were headed actually for Mount Lyell?
No, I wouldn't say, no. They were held for Melbourne. Everybody disembarked, what was on the ship that we came on, disembarked in Melbourne. Then they find all the Maltese that first migrated to Australia, they found their way to King Street, to Mr Rizzo's place. He used to help them with a lot, you know.
Did they know about him in Malta? Do you know?
Did they know what?
Did they know about Mr Rizzo in Malta?
Oh, well, no, I wouldn't think so, no. They just, when they come here, it's remarkable they met the contact, you know.
Yeah.
No, I don't think they knew him in Malta.
What sort of shop was it?
Lollies and soft drinks. That's John. Tony was partly vegetables and that. But John didn't sell vegetables, he sold soft drinks and lollies.
Ah, yes. Do you know their background, like when they came to Australia?
Oh, they were here long before us. So how'd they come here? They must have come in a sailing ship, I should say.
Yes.
Because, you know, our ship we came was half sail and half steam.
So that was like a meeting place for the...
Absolutely, yes. You can call it a meeting place, yes. They got round to know each other, they got together, and from there they found their way to Tasmania and worked on the Mount Lyle Company, whatever it was, you know.
I think, am I right in saying that the Labour Bureau was in that King Street in those
There
years?
was a Labour Bureau there. I don't know if the Maltese used it very much, though. There was private labour bureaus. It was run by private individuals, and they put cards in the and outside, and you read the card, and if it suited you, you went and applied.
Ah, yes.
That wasn't government. It was run by a private individual.
At that time, were there other Maltese businesses around Melbourne that you knew of?
Not very many, not very many. There was a few. It was John Rizzo, his brother. They were here years before us. That's John Rizzo and Tony Rizzo.
Yes.
Tony Rizzo was married and had a family. He was married to an Australian girl, or she could have been Irish, I don't know, but we'll say Australian. And he had a family. John only had one daughter.
And what employment did your father take on when he arrived?
Straight into his trade, joinery. He done joinery. He worked with a firm, Bradshaw's. They were plate glass fitters. He didn't work in the plate glass, he worked in the joinery part, you know, the moulds and whatnot. They were in North Melbourne. Then from there on, he worked at Sharps, the timber yard. I worked there too for some years. And from there on, what was the last place I just can't... It's a long while, I can't think of it.
Don't worry about that.
It's a long
I'm
while.
amazed at your memory.
Yes, it's a long while. It's hard to... See, I'm 80. I'm getting straight in 83 now. And, yes, well, you can prompt me a bit more.
So I wonder how he would have found out about a job in those days.
Who,
Like your father?
Yeah, Mr Hamilton got him to come to Australia. The chap that lent him that money.
Yes.
He told him, he says, only one place to go, he said. My father was, he tried America, was no good. And Mr Hamilton said, Australia's the place, which my father never had a moment. Worked every minute, always. We were never in want while we were in Australia. Never wanted it for a thing. He wasn't rich, but we didn't need that, I think.
What did he try in America, do you know?
Well, he's strayed, but they said at the time he went to America, he's strayed, they were looking for younger men, and he was getting on an age. My father first in Malta had a workshop. He had machinery. Now my father, he had 3 fingers cut off with the machine, with the one of the machines. It was a Malta, and I believe the saying went that they chopped off and they fell on the ground. He picked them up and took them to the hospital and tried to get them on. So but it didn't.
No microsurgery.
He thought they might sew it on again, you know.
And was your brother and sister older than you?
Yes, yeah. They both moved. The brother was the oldest. And he worked here all the time in that nail factory. What the Cooks.
Yes.
They're still about, I believe, the
Yes,
Cooks.
they're in Brunswick.
Yeah, that's right. Yes, they are in Brunswick. That's the last. He worked before that was the last place they shifted to Brunswick from South Melbourne. And he worked there till he died.
And what about your sister?
My sister never worked. She was with home with mother all the time.
When you left school, what's the first job you had?
Now, the first job I had was going back now, the tinsmiths. I can't remember their name. They had a tinsmith in, not Loreto, near the drill hole. The drill hole's on the corner now. There's a drill hole there. Can you remember? You wouldn't know the name of the street. Not Loreto.
It would be Victoria Street, wouldn't it?
No, between Latrobe and these streets run that way. The Victoria Street run that way.
Yeah, and Elizabeth Street here. There is a drill hall there.
Drill hall, I used to be in the cadets there in the drill hall. I've also got I've still got the drill card to this day. So,
Oh, yes.
you know, it was compulsory. You had to go to, you had to attend the drill days. And I still got the card. And you didn't want to see that, I suppose. It wouldn't be interesting.
I'd like to see that later on.
Otherwise, I can't show you. Much very much.
And did you join up when the First War started?
Yes, I did, but I didn't. Not the first, the second. The Second World War. I didn't go though. I was rejected.
Oh yes.
I went in there when we used to have these nightly drills here in the drill halls, you know. And I enlisted when the war broke out, but I was rejected. They said I had a hernia.
Oh, yes.
And they wouldn't take me. They said, "Oh, get the hernia done and come back again," but of course I didn't go back. I thought if I wasn't good enough then, I wouldn't try it. Yeah.
There was an incident I wanted to ask you about, Mr Camilleri, in 1916. You may remember there was a ship called the Gange from Malta. It had about 200 and...
Yes, yes.
They ended up at New Caledonia.
Yeah, they wouldn't let them land.
Yes.
They wouldn't let them land. There was a lot. The truth was against. Used to be against the Maltese. There was always, you know,
Rubbish in
the
there.
rubbish for the people. Well, I remember that. Well, as a matter of fact, we had a cutting about that from one of the daily papers, but I wouldn't know where that is now. My brother, of course, my sister might have had it.
Do you remember much about the incident, though?
Yes, they came. There was quite I don't know how many. Quite a number of Maltese came out, and they said that they brought them to Victoria to break up some strike that was going on at the time. I can't remember what strike it was. But that was only just, you know, trying to inflame the people.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
But they were going to land at Port Melbourne, I know.
Yeah, they wouldn't let them land. They wouldn't let them land. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that quite well.
Was there much...
But I can't remember the details.
Yes. I know, it's a long time ago now.
Yeah, so it is.
And you said the truth, the newspaper was...
The truth was, the truth still now, yes, they used to rubbish the Maltese quite a lot. They called us black fellas and, you know, everything.
Was there much concern among the Maltese in Melbourne about this shipload coming in? Like, did people...
There was about the populace, the Australian populace, there was. Yes, they were inflamed about it. So they said they were coming over to was there a strike? I don't know whether there was a strike or not.
I think it was the conscription referendum.
Conscription, that's it, yes, that's right. Yeah, they said they're going to put the Australians into the army and replace them with the Maltese working.
Yeah.
Which wasn't true, of course.
No.
The Maltese didn't know even anything about it.
Well, they weren't warned when they left Malta.
No,
It's very unfair, very unjust.
No, the Maltese didn't know anything about it. That was all paper talk. I say this particularly as truth. I wrote a letter to Truth. I remember I wrote a good letter there and sent them to them. But it's beyond me now.
What was that regarding the Maltese and the treatment of the Maltese?
Yeah. Now, can you think of anything else?
Yes. I was going to ask about a particular Maltese priest.
Maltese?
There was a Maltese priest, I believe, in Australia around that time, by the name of Father Bonnet.
Bonnet, yes.
Did you know him at all?
Yes, we knew him. He used to, as a matter of fact, when he came to Melbourne, we boarded with Mother and Father while here, you know. They used to put him up when he, you know...
Was that when you were in Lonsdale Street?
No, when we were in Montague.
Yes, anything you can tell me about him would be appreciated, because it's not much is
the
known
priest.
about him. But why was he in Melbourne, do you know? Why would he come down to visit?
I can't remember being in a church in Melbourne, but he was a rather, he didn't look like a Maltese. He was rather a fair chap, rather good-looking fella. And I can't tell you much about him, I'm afraid. I wouldn't, I'd be making it up if I did.
No, don't worry.
But I know Father Bonnet, I met him and spoke to him, but beyond that, he was like my mother and father. They was their guest, and so I was only a child.
Do you know of any other Maltese priests around that time, like in the early years, say before the 1920s?
Oh, no, I wouldn't know them. There used to be, we used to go to church in St Francis, and the priests there were very interested in the Maltese. Particularly was a Father Wallace, I think. I used to serve Mass for him in St Francis, and he was very friendly, with my mother and father and that. And he used to pat me on the head and said, "There's a little black Maltese, picking at the papers."
Oh, I see. Yeah, I get it. So, I believe a few Maltese came in the 20s.
I know they were coming all the time. They were coming bachelor all the time. But we never mixed with them really. When we lived in Lonsdale Street, there was I'm trying to think of the name. There was Charlie Nowdy. His progeny is still here in Victoria. Charlie, he came on they had a papas, they call it the papas. It was a line, and they every now and again they run through an examination in Malta, and if they were good enough and passed, they paid their fare to Australia. You heard of that before? The papas. Papas was a line, the Greek line. They had a Greek line. I'm not very sure, but I think Papas was the name of the Greek line, and they done this examination, and the chaps that passed were given free passages to migrate, And Charlie Nody was one. He married my wife's sister. He was one of those. No, I'm trying to think. I've got another one there. He committed suicide in New Zealand. Can't think of his name, no. It's on the tip of my tongue, but I can't get his name. Yeah. So that's that.
Where did Charlie live?
Charlie Nody?
Yes.
In Prahran, but different places. They're not all the time in Prahran. When he died in Prahran. I can't think of the name of the street either.
Oh, no, that doesn't matter. If you can remember anything about any other Maltese people who were living in Melbourne around that time, say before 1920, I'd like to know anything you can tell me about them.
Yes, well, see, we didn't mix very much. I was married to a Maltese girl, to an Australian girl. We had our own family there, and I didn't mix much with the Maltese people. I don't know very much about them.
Was there ever a time when you did become part of the Maltese community? Like I know, there was the Maltese Social Society. Were you involved in that?
Yes, I was involved in that, and that's recent though. They had a club, I was treasurer anyway. I mean, we used to have fetes at the place. You've met them, have you, in Brunswick there? What's his name? The father? In the house, there was a chapel there somewhere.
Oh,
in Sydney Road.
In Sydney Road, yes.
Yeah, we used to have fetes in the backyard.
Oh,
And the money was collected, and I was treasurer.
When was this? In the 30s, was it? 1930s?
I've got a book there, but I don't think I'll find it. I've got a book there that was to keep a data, you know. You're not that much interested in this, was that what it?
Yes, I'm very interested in
In the book there with the...
Oh yes, anything like that I can have a look at, I'd be very grateful.
Well,
We'll turn it off.
Yes, turn it off.
Yes, so you were in Melbourne during the Depression.
Yes, at the start of the Depression, I can't... I don't know how to start off with this. There was unemployment benefits for a start when things were bad, you know, nobody can get jobs or whatnot. Well, then they started what they called a sustenance scheme,
Yes.
which you had to work for a certain, you only got part wages. For instance, a single man worked for a day and a half, and he got 12 or sixpence or something for, I can't remember the exact amount, and so on till a man with a big family done the whole 40 hours
I see.
for a little bit more money. And our first job was the golf links. You know the golf links in Dendy Street in Brighton? Well, I started those. I built those, and right from the beginning was sustenance labour. It used to be a tip there for the, or half of it was a tip for the Brighton Council. And I had a lot of people working under me, you know. I was just the foreman there. And that part of the Dendy Street golfing, which is a beautiful golf links now, I don't say that I had anything to do with it in recent years, but early in the piece I started that golf links.
Really?
Yes. Mr Morecambe, he done the outlines for me with the plough, yeah, so that the greens were going to got,
Yes.
the plan, and I done all the other with my men.
Yeah, that's something worth mentioning.
Yes, fantastic.
That was...
That'd be in the 19...
Oh yes, early very early in the depression, the big depression we had in there. They had all the men working. At first, they had to work for nothing. They had to give them time off. You know, my poor old, getting old. I'm getting old. I had to sort of. We better finish it. That I think I don't make it up.
So what jobs did you have before that period, before the Depression, like during the 20s?
First I had a job. I worked at Sharp's timber yard, just as ordinary workman. You know, there was no trade there or anything. But then from there on, I got a job in the council. That was early in the piece.
This is the Melbourne Council?
No, the Brighton Council.
I see.
And I had my first job at the council was I was on a tractor cutting the lawns at Landcox Park, all over places in Brighton.
I see, yes.
And from there on, I must have been liked by the bosses or something. They gave me a job as a curator at Elswick Park.
Really? And were you still living in Montague Street at this stage? In Montague?
Oh no! This is no! I was living in Brighton when this going on. No.
So when did you make the move? When did you leave South Melbourne?
Oh, when I was married. I was married in 1921, I think. I wouldn't be sure. I've got the marriage certificate there if you want to see it.
Oh no, that's approximately.
I'd only be guessing. I wouldn't like to sort of set dates and be wrong, you know.
And that's when you moved away from your parents, was it? You moved out of home when you got married?
No, my mother and father got a house in South Melbourne, in York Street. Still there, the house. They don't own it, of course, now. That was when my mother died there. My father died there too, in York Street. But apart from that, you know, I can only go on patches, which is not good enough.
Oh no, you're doing all right.
So what was your occupation, like your story in terms of occupations that you had? You worked...
No, I worked in a timber yard for a start, but that wasn't my general occupation. But when the Depression came and had to change jobs, I was lucky enough to strike a job at the Brighton Council. And I got on pretty well there with all the heads there, and I finished up curator of Galswick Park.
For how long were you in that
position? Oh, a long while. I was there 25, 30 years.
Oh, I see.
Yes, quite a long while.
And that was your last job? You retired?
Yes, I retired from Galswick Park, yes, yeah.
Did you ever work with other Maltese people in the jobs you had?
No, yes, I did for a little short time for Schembries. You know the Schembries? They're still manufacturing furniture.
No, I don't
But I was only for a short time I was with them there. I was out of work and they were good enough to offer me a job, and I took it, but I didn't stop there long.
What?
Schembries they were. They make furniture now. What?
In Coburg?
Yes. No, they were in Kensington, I think. The factory was.
Right.
They still make furniture, those Schembries. Do you meet them?
No, I haven't.
Oh, yes.
No, I didn't even know about them.
Oh, they make very classy furniture. Well, they come out soon after we come to Australia. They're old-timers too. There was Joe. I think one of the boys died, I don't know which one. His mother and father were dead long ago. They lived in Coburg. Yes, they used to make classy furniture, Schembries.
What period was it that you were with them? Like during the war or after the war?
No, the memory doesn't serve me there. I can't remember.
Not to worry.
Do you feel yourself Australian or Maltese?
Do I call myself?
No. Do you feel?
Oh, I feel more Australian, yes. But I haven't even got I'd be stateless. I haven't even got a passport. You see, if you don't have a passport, you're stateless.
Yes.
But I'm an old age pensioner now here, and I'll get me full pension, so I'm not worried. Well, they give me the pension, so why worry?
That's like me. So you never bothered to be naturalised or anything?
No, I never. No, I didn't. I didn't feel like giving me Maltese nationality away for some reason. But what I hear of the people, the heads of Malta there in that Parliament, I don't know if I did the right things or not.
Yeah, Faraci. He become naturalised.
Who is it?
Faraci?
No, what's his name?
Mintoff.
Mintoff, yeah. He's an Arab.
Yeah.
Can I mention some names of people you may have known in the 30s? They may ring a bell.
If I'm trying to think of some...
There was someone I met recently, Victor Schembri Hardy.
Yeah, but he was... we were here long before he was.
Oh, yes, I realise that.
Yeah.
He told me that I think it was during the Depression, there was a deputation of Maltese in Melbourne who went to see the Premier to try to get relief for the Maltese in Melbourne who were unemployed. Did you know anything about that?
No.
No.
Because Mr Paris, the one, Mrs Paris' husband who died,
Yes.
he was the one with them for all the things, you know. Although we were here, must have been 10 or 12 years before him, you know, when we went to Australia.
Yes, you're one of the very early ones.
Yeah.
And I think there was a Maltese priest by the name of Camilleri.
Yes, yeah.
Did you?
Met him several times, I have. He had a brother here too.
Ah, yes.
He had a brother. He was always, his brother used to like the drinking.
Hey, be careful. But he was Angelo Camilleri.
That's right, yeah, yes.
What was he like?
He was, he looked like he never looked like a Maltese, you know. He like an Englishman there. But I can't.
Can you tell me anything about the Joe Zara, who had the boarding house, I believe, in King Street?
No, I don't know much about it. I know there was she wasn't his daughter, I think. There used to be a Louisa Wade, which would be Mrs Zara's sister. That was long ago when we went to school together in Burke Street. I'm talking about Louisa Wade.
Yes, I see.
She'd be Mrs Zara's sister. I'm only assuming, I wouldn't be sure. But she would be, wouldn't she?
Yes. Did you know of the Zaras, or that there was the boarding house there?
No.
Oh, I see.
No, I don't know much about them.
Yeah, I have the impression that, like in the late 20s and 30s, the Maltese were mainly around West Melbourne.
Yeah, well, Zara, you don't let that on there.
Yeah.
No, you chop it off.
Tell me some more about your job as a curator.
I got the job as a curator, and I helped to construct the golf links at Dendy Street. I got into that ground there when it was a tip. I remember the first day we went there, the engineer took me around and told me what he wanted done and all that, and that was the start of the golf links. And I was there till when it was finished and constructed and played on.
How long was the project?
How long?
Yeah, how many years did it take
to construct the? Took a long while because all the labour on the golf links was done by sustenance labour. That means that the people that worked on there, they all worked part-time for very little wage. But I can't just remember how long it took to construct the golf links.
But it was years.
Oh yes, it has to be years, yes. Every inch, well I won't say every inch because that'd be wrong, but every part of every fairway was planted by hand. We used to go around to the houses nearby and clean out the couch grass. Well, the people were glad to get the couch grass out their yard, and we took that down to tore it to pieces, put it in bags, and planted piece by piece with a horse plough on the golf links. And all the fairways at the Dendy Street golf links was planted that way, with couch grass.
Who would know that?
That's remarkable. We used to go down. People were glad to get rid of it out the yard. And we brought it down, tore it to pieces and put it in bags and we had even men from St Kilda on sustenance. And they were on the job there. They used to bring them down the truck every morning.
So there were a fair few workers involved in it.
Oh, I was to have about 200 men under me there.
That many?
Yeah, they wasn't getting paid, they were getting a few bob, you know.
Yes, well, is there anything else you'd like to tell me about yourself and your achievements.
Not that I can think of at the moment. Just,
You left Malta in 1912,
yes.
and have you been there?
No, never been there since. No, you never been there? Good heavens! Fancy that. No, I never went back. No. I'm very, very sorry. I'd love to see Malta. I'd even like to see it now, but I can't fly now on account of my health. You ever seen pictures of it lately?
Oh, yes.
I've got some out there.
Well, thank you very much, Mr Camilleri,
Yes,
for
Father,
a marvellous
I'm gonna make
interview.
a
It's
Yes, Father, I
really
have to
superb. Thank you indeed.
Sorry, I can't see. It's,
That's,
my memory very...
it was great.